What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott. Let me know first off if you like this new setup. This is a client of mine. She reached out and wanted to do an email session. I personally wrote her the email, but I wanted to make a video on the topic because a lot of comments and questions I get have to do with long distance, rekindling long distance, how to make it work whatever, something long distance, okay? And when I was reading this, I realized it was long distance. So I'm going to dive into it, kind of go into a little detail on what I told her, and maybe give you some type of insight for your own situation, okay? Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. And if you want to get an email session or a phone session or get my course, Attraction Academy, links are down in the description. So let me read this. 2015, she reconnected with her old boyfriend, became best friends. We talked about everything. We had the same values and the same thing, or we liked the same things. We started dating a year and a half later, long distance, which is 7 hours away. Met his family, went on 2 cruises, one with the family. We talked about marriage and moving in with him June 2020 after her daughter graduated high school. He started wanting to see me on the daily instead of every week. I tried to break up with him due to the long distance, but he wasn't having it. We broke up in May, or he broke up with her in May 2019, saying he couldn't do the long distance anymore, and it was getting to him. We stopped talking for several weeks, had sex several times. Wrong. Had sex several times, and he started calling me again, and we have been talking as friends ever since. He brings up the relationship first with me, and he's always the one who calls. He recently called and told me he was going on a date, but still calls every day, even at night. He asks me about every aspect of my life and wants to continue being friends even if we are dating other people. Now, her question is, what does he want, and is there any hope to rekindling the relationship? Sorry, my voice. So, here's what I told her. And if you get my course, Attraction Academy, you kind of know this, but I'm not saying the guy doesn't like her, okay? But I always say men are going to go towards the path of least resistance or what is most advantageous for him. And I told her that the situation hasn't changed. It's still long distance. You know, you're still 7 hours away. You guys tried it, so he knows the repercussions of the long distance. He wanted to see you every day when you guys were together, or often, but he couldn't because of long distance. And now you guys are open to dating other people, right? He told you the other day he was going on a date. So my first inkling of thought here would be, why would you think he's rekindling it when he's talking to other women? Yes, I know that, you guys hooked up, that you guys, he calls you and texts you all the time. He's the one initiating. You talk about things. But that sends me more towards wanting to think of things like towards the path of like what's most advantageous for him. And if it was me, what would be most advantageous would be to keep contact with you, as a more of an insurance policy. Now, I hate to say it, I'm not saying that he doesn't like you. I'm not saying that he doesn't see maybe a potential with you, but why would he jump into a relationship when the situation's the same? Nothing's changed. It's still long distance, and he's talking to somebody else right now. He's talking to somebody, or he just went on a date. So wouldn't it be better to get the assets from you while minimizing the liabilities? Like, wouldn't it be better if I just continue to talk to you for sex? Because I know you don't think it's just sex. I'm not saying it is, but you did have sex with him outside of the relationship. So that's a benefit. Maybe the attention you give him, the idea of you maybe sometime in the future. Again, the security as maybe you are an option for later on if things don't work out. Sorry, my voice. And things like that. So wouldn't it be better to maintain these assets while lowering the liabilities? Meaning, isn't it better to talk to you and get these semi relationship benefits while not having to worry about long distance because we're not together. I can still get my fulfillment of validation, sex, ego boost, attention, cuddles, IOIs, indicators of interest from other women while still maintaining something with you. Like, doesn't that make more sense? Because trust me, if a guy truly liked you, I don't think he would have put himself in this position in the first place. And I think he's a very logical dude. I think the guy knows that, yeah, rekindling it may be nice. It may be fun. It may, it sounds good in theory because I like her, but the situation hasn't changed. So why would he change his mind? Especially, like, I always tell women that you're when a guy comes back around and you're trying to rekindle something, or you want to know if something's changed on his end, you have to remember the big gap that he has to close in to do that. So the gap here being long distance, not literally the gap, no pun intended, I guess, but there's the long distance. There's the you're not talking to him for several weeks. There's the other women or woman he's talking to. So, like, why are people getting, I guess when I say people, why are you getting this thought where he wakes up and things have changed? Like guys just don't wake up after long distance. I'm sure you haven't seen him for a while. You went several weeks without talking. He's talking to somebody else. Like, the idea of him waking up and realizing, oh shit, I made a mistake. What was I thinking? Just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And I understand why you're saying what you're saying, because it's like, well, this guy's putting a lot of effort in. Well, yeah, but the situation hasn't changed. So I look at it more in terms of, okay, then why is he putting this effort in? I think it's more of an insurance policy. It's more of that kind of concept. Not that he's using you. I know a lot of women are going to hear this and say, oh, no, girl, he's using you. I don't think he's consciously thinking this girl's an insurance policy. No, I do think he likes you. I do think there's, now how much he likes you, not enough to maintain a long distance relationship, but I don't think it's completely like I'm just going to use her for sex. No, I think that's a lot of effort a guy's putting in for long distance, especially when he's not having sex with you. So I think it's other assets. It could be the attention, like I said. It could be the ego boost. It could be the idea and things like that. But to assume he's going to jump into a long-distance relationship, again, or try to rekindle something when there's no benefit in doing so, like, what's he going to get out of that he's not getting right now? Sex? I mean, he can get that from the girl he's probably just went on a date with, So, I mean, it's kind of bad news. I'm not saying the guy doesn't like you, but to rekindle something, I don't think so. Ladies, get my course, Attraction Academy. I always say, and I say it in that course, if you want to know men, you got to look at things from a perspective of what is most advantageous for him. What is most advantageous for him? It's kind of selfish, but it's pretty fucking true. If you look at it in terms of what is best for him, okay, doesn't mean it's win-lose. Like, doesn't mean he wins and you lose. But, like, even if it's win-win, that could be what's most beneficial to him, right? But for the most part, guys are always going to go towards the path of least resistance. What secures his ass the best? What's best for him in terms of advantages, okay? And in my opinion, I think this guy is most advantageous continuing to talk to you, doing whatever he's doing with you while talking to other women, because that raises the assets that he gets from you, whatever it is, doesn't have to be sex, while still being single and getting fulfillment elsewhere, okay? So with that being said, ladies, let me know if you like this setup. I kind of like this. I think it's easy. I think it's cool. I like doing questions, right? Or talking about questions that people have for me. And plus, it gives my clients a little more value. So that being said, I love you all. Take care and peace.